ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Socially Distant,
Hello.
where I guess the whole Karen thing is a thing now, I guess. Anyway, I'm your host, Alex Weber, and as always, you know he's here. You can hear him in the back room. You can hear him in the green room. Who do we got? Who are you?
It's me, Stephen Sondheim's little piss boy, Richie Oliver.
How you doing, Richie?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You like that? You like that intro?
Oh, that was perfect. You can hear him in the back room. Well, yes, because that's usually where I'm kept.
Yeah.
But
I meant the Karen part. Did you see that shit today?
dude, they're like considering it like a slur.
Yeah, this person was like, yeah, it's like a racist and sexist slur against white women. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how the word slur works.
Yep, exactly. You don't know how life works there, do you, sir? Or do you, ma'am?
Do you, ma'am?
Do you, ma'am?
So yeah, that was interesting. That was definitely was not expecting to see that on the timeline today, but alas, I did.
Yep.
So we were supposed to have our good friend from school, Elena Friedman, on the show today.
Mm-hmm.
Due to some scheduling and technical conflicts, mainly just scheduling. I don't really know. You know,
Yep.
whatever. It happens.
Yep.
They will be joining us for a later episode, and so we are excited for that.
Yep.
So that was sort of what we planned on doing today, but I guess we could do a quick little, just a little daily little check-in.
Yeah, little tiny little daily check-in, boy.
Tomorrow, definitely want to talk about what did Jack do, as we said.
Yes.
And I had one other thing that I forgot. I'll think of it again. And then, actually, one of my other friends, who is also named Elena Conti, wants to be on the show for something.
Oh.
So we gotta figure.
I like surprises.
We gotta shop some ideas around, cause
Yep.
the dead one was kind of impromptu yesterday.
Yep.
And then I had told her, I was like, yeah, no, Richie and I are doing a Just Dead show. She's like, oh, I should have hopped on for that one, but we sort of just improv that. But so we'll figure it out. We can maybe do like a work from home thing, seeing as you are both working from home and I am not. Speaking of which,
we're working from home and you're just at home.
And I'm just at home. This podcast has become my full-time job, but it's technically a part-time job because I don't spend 40 hours a week on it. But
right.
Speaking of which, I applied for unemployment today.
How did that go?
You know, it wasn't too bad. I mean,
yeah, it's a painless process.
it was a little daunting because I'm like, I don't want to fuck this up and like set myself back a couple weeks or something.
Yep.
Because they ask you for like a work history through, I think it was like April 1st, 2019 to like now. And so from April 1st, 2019 until now, I've worked at 2 places in Connecticut and then this place in Boston. So I had to say, like, yeah, I had these 2 non-Massachusetts jobs and, like, fill out, like, name and address for all of them, all that stuff. And then on the first one that I did, which was my most recent position, they were like, oh, do you want to incorporate your wages from this job into this unemployment thing? And I was like, I really don't know what I should put here. Like, I don't think so because, like, I'm not concerned about what I made with that job, but I know that's how they base what you get on it. So I did know, and then I filled out the job that I worked before that, and there was just no option for that again on the second job. Like, it was only on that first one, even though I put in 2. And so I was like, all right, that's kind of weird. Maybe I'll go back and do the wages for that last job and just not do it for the one that I physically can't put anything in. So I did that. But then when I went to review it, it was like, do you want to use your wages from this job on this? Yes, wages, 0. But I'm like, I can't fill it in, so it's just going to pop in 0. So I just hit no, and I guess we'll see what happens. So that's my only little wild card thing that I don't know how that affects me. I tried Googling it, and I couldn't get anything, so we'll see what happens. But I'm on the books now. Now I just got to wait.
Amen. We're off the books.
And
Cuts
so
the mic like Eric Andre.
I love that part. Yes.
We're off the books.
So yeah, so that was my morning. That was the first thing I did this morning, and then the second thing I did today was the CEO of my company, like, every day is gonna have like a Zoom call with everyone who's been like furloughed or let go, just as sort of like a little like, hey, by the way, it's like I feel like shit for having to cut you guys, so like we'll talk about it, and like I'll keep you guys updated with everything and whatnot. So that was pretty cool. It was like a 15-minute thing from 1 to 1:15. I really appreciate it because I like I've never actually met the CEO of my company. I've only like seen him a couple times, but he's a super cool guy, and he's holed up on his farm in Vermont right now. And God, I wish that were me.
Yeah, dude, that would be great. Being in Vermont right now.
Did that, and then the rest of my day, let me tell you something. I sat on my porch in the sun, sunglasses on, and was just hanging out. Of course, I was doing some homework on our previous discussion on the show, was listening to some Grateful Dead.
And you did a big bit of homework last night as well.
I did, and that's going to be our little quickie topic today, I think, just so we can follow up. I did watch the Grateful Dead movie last night, which is a part concert film, part, I guess, documentary style.
Yep, I would call it documentary style.
Yes, directed by Jerry Garcia of some shows, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's such a different concert film where it's not just entirely concert. Like, Jerry Garcia made a point to have a fully animated, like, was it like 10 minutes?
Yeah, it was like the first like 10 minutes of the film. That was crazy.
And to intersperse not just the audience, but like
backstage stuff,
and things, and
I thought that was cool. Like, I really did like getting to see sort of like people like waiting out upside to get in, like the backstage stuff, and then just all like the fan interaction and stuff like that, or just like fans doing their thing. I thought that was super cool and definitely helped me get like really immersed into it. So that was cool because I started it kind of late. And I was like, okay, this is like 2.5 hours or something.
And they got some killer jams in that thing, man.
They really did. So I was like, okay, I'm like, I have to do this in one sitting. So like, I don't care.
Donna's singing well. They're all going for it. Phil is being Phil.
Yeah,
Phil is
Lesh is a cool
one of my favorites. Oh man, when he's backstage and he goes, "It's the camera."
Yeah.
And he zooms in and then it just brings the camera to his face and he's just looks like he's so high on something.
Yeah. So I really did enjoy that, and I'm glad I watched it. It was a good little Sunday night activity, just hang out. And then of course today, just like sitting on the porch, and I tried to listen to a lot of primarily like jammy songs by them. Yep. Because of course they're like at minimum 15 minutes, at maximum 46.
Yep. Yeah. So 46, 45.
I was like doing laundry, so I'd go inside to throw my laundry in or take it out and put it in the dryer or whatever. And other than that, I'm just like sitting there, just like I'll be on my phone for like 10 minutes, but other than that, I'm just like staring off into nothingness. With just this is just like background music, which is what I really liked it as.
Yep, they work really well as a background music band, definitely. As I'm working, I'm typing away, I can just have a nice jam going on. When I was at Rick's, I always had Grateful Dead playing on the computer. Yeah. So it was just always like a jam that people came in to listen to, so that was fun.
And then one thing that I mentioned this to you, and I just want to give a shout out to Apple. The speakers that they put in the newest 16-inch MacBook Pro are fucking ridiculous. When I was watching videos before I bought mine, everyone was like, yeah, the speakers are really good. And it's like, okay, cool. Cool. So when I tried them, it was like, whoa, these are really cool. And I never really bring the volume up. Well, I usually only use my headphones when I'm in my apartment. I really don't listen to it through the speakers. Yep. Mainly just because it's what's convenient, and also I don't want to be like too loud. But so I've never really cranked it that much for a long period of time. Just like some quick tests, and even just doing the quick little bursts feels like an actual like speaker system.
Oh shit.
Not just like computer speakers. Like there's like depth to it, and it just spatially is really cool. So
that's awesome.
When I was
that's
outside,
cool.
I was like, "Yo, let me just crank this thing," and it was awesome. And
that's wicked cool.
I faced my computer opposite my doorway, so it was like pointing towards the apartment behind me, and then walked to the other side of my apartment, which I mean, granted, is like not very far, but I was inside, and I'm like, I could still hear it like almost perfectly.
Oh, that's great.
So definitely thankful for some good speakers, even if they're just built into a laptop, because they're like the best laptop speakers that I've ever heard.
Oh, definitely.
So that was cool. And that was literally just my day. I was outside from maybe like 1:30, 1:45 until almost 5 o'clock.
Nice.
Came in to cook dinner with the door open. Like, door open, still had the dead on. Was just hanging out. I ate dinner outside too. So I spent a lot of time in the sun, and it was really refreshing, I gotta say.
Nice. Yeah, I worked and then made dinner, which was, I just heated up some leftovers. We had French meat pie.
Ooh.
Last night, so I had some leftover French meat pie, mashed potatoes and gravy, with a nice pint of Guinness.
Pint of Guinness.
No, I did not have a pint of Guinness because I was still on the clock. But no, I actually didn't. I'm just trying to be jokey, but not. But yeah, and now I'm here. So that's my day.
Nice. Yeah, I did a whole lot of nothing, but it felt good because I was just hanging out in the sun. And if you haven't had the chance to get any sun, spend any time outside, I would totally recommend it. Even if it's just for a little bit, because it was so much nicer than me just sitting inside all day and like not doing anything. So I really enjoyed that opportunity, and I hope it continues.
You know what goes great with being outside?
What?
Poetry.
Ooh, that is very true.
Thank you everyone for coming out to the Chuckle Club.
Yeah.
This is Richie with Richie's Poetry Corner. Today we're going to be doing some readings by Mr. Edward Hirsch. Born in 1950, Ed Hirsch was born in Chicago, graduated from Grinnell College, and received his Ph.D. from the University of Pennsylvania. He has received numerous awards, and he taught for many years at the University of Houston, and he now runs the Guggenheim Foundation. Yeah. His poems ring with urgent, outsized feelings about human suffering, the toils of family and urban life, the redemptive possibilities of art and love. The loneliness of the passionate soul is his study, and the pitch of Hirsch's poems rises towards the recognition that, quote, losing itself becomes a kind of song, unquote.
Ooh.
So I have two poems that we'll read today by Edward Hirsch. This first poem is called Fast Break.
Are they longer pieces? Are they shorter pieces?
They're kind of shorter. I could probably do 3 if you'd like.
Yeah, well, why not? Let's break it out.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? So this first poem is called Fast Break. This poem was written in memory of Dennis Turner. Dennis Turner lived from 1946 to 1984. A hook shot kisses the rim and hangs there, helplessly, but doesn't drop. And for once our gangly starting center boxes out his man and times his jump perfectly, gathering the orange leather from the air like a cherished possession and spinning around to throw a strike to the outlet who is already shoveling an underhand pass toward the other guard, scissoring past a flat-footed defender who looks stunned and nailed to the floor in the wrong direction, trying to catch sight of a high, gliding dribble and a man letting the play develop in front of him in a slow motion, almost exactly like a coach's drawing on the blackboard, both forwards racing down the court the way that forwards should, fanning out and filling the lanes in tandem, moving together as brothers, passing the ball between them without a dribble, without a single bounce hitting the hard wood, until the guard finally lunges out and commits to the wrong man, while the power forward explodes past them in a fury, taking the ball into the air by himself now and laying it gently against the glass for a layup. But losing his balance in the process, inexplicably falling, hitting the floor with a wild, headlong motion for the game he loved like a country, and swiveling back to see an orange blur floating perfectly above the net. I really like that poem. That poem is one long sentence, one long continuous run-on sentence
Oh, really?
in non-rhyming couplets.
Yeah.
So I love his. This is more of just a descriptive poem about a game of basketball. And I love his, one of my favorite lines, with a wild headlong motion for the game he loved like a country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get that patriotism over your sport.
Yep, and especially if you find a really borderline nationalist patriot, you will feel that, like, I don't know why, like, a lot of people feel like the country's their brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. So, yes, that's the first poem.
It was interesting. Again, very descriptive, and it's basketball, baby.
This is called A Short Lexicon of Torture in the 80s.
Ooh.
That's not a man in pain, but a Brazilian phone. It won't be making any outgoing calls. That's not a woman sprawling on the floor, but an old-fashioned dance like the tango. Pull up a chair with a knotted rope. Let's have a tea party with toast and hors d'oeuvres. Let's take a seat on the parrot's perch. Let's rock to the Motorola with headphones. Do you want to bathe in the porcelain tub? Do you want to sing the Little Hare? Let's stroll over to the guest room. Let's take a bus ride to the San Juanica Bridge. Forget the ovens and smokestacks. Forget the rack and screw, the tiger's cage. We're celebrating a birthday party in your honor. We're lighting candles on your favorite cake. We're taking you to a parade on a sandy beach. You're going down in a submarine.
That was incredibly interesting. And
yes,
because it starts out with, it's like, oh, it's not this, it's this. So you sort of get this, like, association between the word and what he's actually saying it is.
Yep.
But then that stops, and the rest of the poem has all these words emphasized, and I'm just like, but what do they mean?
Yep. Let's have a tea party with toast and hors d'oeuvres.
You're like, oh shit, what kind of CIA Blackwater shit is that? Like, oh
right?
no.
This is like an anarchist's Bible.
Yeah, it's not like I could try to unpack that. Like,
exactly. It's
I don't know what it is, but, like, okay. Definitely
what the
makes
fuck is the tiger's cage?
Exactly, definitely has you thinking. So I really like that, just because it's so.
What's the San Juanica Bridge?
Well, I would assume it's a bridge.
I would assume it.
Oh,
in torture speak.
No
what
shit,
is it?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm an idiot.
All right, are we ready for this next one?
Yeah, sure. Let's do one more.
Perfect. This one's called My Father's Back.
Okay.
There's an early memory that I carry around in my mind, like an old photograph in a wallet, a little graying and faded, a picture that I don't much like but nonetheless keep, fingering it now and then like a sore tooth, knowing it's there, not needing to see it anymore. The sun slants down on the shingled roof, the wind breathes in the needled pines, and I am lying in the grass on my 3rd birthday, red-faced and watchful, but not squalling yet, not yet rashed or hived up from eating the wrong food or touching the wrong plant. My father's leaving. A moment before, he was holding me up like a new trophy, and I was a toddler with my face in the clouds, spinning around with a head full of stars, getting so dizzy. A moment before, I was squealing with joy, in the tilt-a-whirl of his arms, drifting asleep in the cavern of his chest. I remember waking up to the twin peaks of his shoulders moving away, a shirt clinging to his massive body, a mountain receding. I remember the giant distance between us, a drop or two of rain, a sheen on the lawn, and then I was sitting up in the grainy half-light of a man walking away from his family. I don't know why we go over the old hurts again and again in our mind, the false starts and true beginnings of a world we call the past, as if it could tell us who we are now, or were, have or were or might have been. It's drizzling. A car door slams just once and he's gone. Tiny pools of water glisten on the street.
Well, shit.
Yep.
Wow. That was heavy.
Yeah, when I first read the title, I thought, oh, it's a returning father. My father's back. But
not
no,
his back as he walked away.
It's his back as he walks away.
Whew.
One of my favorite lines in this is, he calls him a mountain receding.
Yeah. Damn, I need to shake that one off a little bit.
Yep, me too. What I should let people know on here is that most of the time I have no idea what these poems are. I find an author in the contemporary book, the vintage book of contemporary American poetry, and I read a little bit of them, and if I like their bio, I'll just read their poems. And so what you guys are getting on the podcast is just poems that I am also reacting to for the first time.
Yeah.
So
that's super cool.
Yeah, I love that poem in the sense that he looks at it. I don't think he looks at the moment in a sad way.
Yeah, I didn't feel that.
So the poem is not set in sadness. The poem is set in description. And I feel like in terms of description, I think that's where the sadness is evoked from. Not the fact that his father is leaving, but how it's described as him leaving. So is then sad.
Yeah, I mean, that one definitely struck me the hardest. So that might be my top, although 2 and 3 are really good. I like the language on 1, but it didn't really hit me as much. Whereas
which one?
The first one, the basketball piece.
Yep, the basketball game. Yep.
But I definitely like the style of it. Whereas 2 and 3 really, 2 made me think, and then 3 made me feel. So.
Yeah. That's usually what happens when I'm in the bathroom as well. I usually think when I'm taking a number 2, and I really feel it when I take a number 3.
Oh,
God.
That's open to interpretation by the audience.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, we have a good little itinerary for tomorrow.
We do.
So we're going to talk about What Did Jack Do, which is a short film by David Lynch. I'm going to rewatch that again tonight, probably
Myself
again
as
tomorrow.
well.
I mean, again, it's a 15-minute short film, so it's super easy to crunch out.
Yep, and if any of our listeners would like to watch it with us, watch it tonight.
Yeah.
And so watch it today.
Yeah.
And hear us talk about it that night. So, yeah. So
yes.
Definitely do it.
So yeah, listen to it today, and then
you'll
hear us
today.
talk about it tomorrow. Again, we're on that thing where we're on the 1 day off recording release schedule, so I had to push that through my brain real hard. Yeah, do that if you wish. It's weird, it's funny, it's awesome, it's David Lynch. So enough said.
David Lynch.
So I'm thinking we can. So tomorrow's episode. Well, that episode's episode 13, and the number 13 has sort of a weird thing behind it, whatever. So I say, why don't we start with David Lynch tomorrow?
Yep.
We both said we wanted to take some time to read some really, what was the word? Abstract.
Surrealist poetry?
Surrealist poetry, that was it.
Yep.
So in honor of episode 13, let's just talk about surrealism and some other surrealist things. I think that could be fun. And as we get further into this weird fucking quarantine lockdown, surrealism is going to become more and more apparent, so it makes sense. So I think that would be fun.
I have a cool question for you that we could kind of discuss just to kind of close out this little episode.
Yeah.
Which musician would you like to so you have to pick 3 different musicians.
Okay.
What musician would you jam with? What musician would you write music with? And what musician would you like to hang at a bar with?
Ooh. I like to write music with George Harrison.
George Harrison?
I think that would be very nice. I love that man. Who would I want to jam with? Damn, that's tough. like 80s Clapton, even though he'd smoke me like a fucking cigarette. But I think like 70s, 80s Clapton would be cool to jam with.
He'd hold a lighter up under you,
and
ready to go.
And then he'd put me in his headstock and just let me burn there for a little bit. And who would I want to go to a bar with? That's crazy.
Or like, what musician would you have drinks with?
Yeah,
I think that's a better.
I think like that's honestly the hardest one because like how do I pick that? Because it's not like I'm picking to get drinks and be like, yo, dude, let's go to this bar and like be like fucking Motley Crue in 1983 or something. It's like I want to like sit at a bar and just like talk to you for a long time.
And just shoot the shit with someone.
Damn, that is really, really hard. I'm gonna think on this for a second. What are your three for that?
I would love to write music with and I'm gonna cheat and say it's considered one person, but the Glimmer Twins.
Okay.
Jagger and Keith.
Okay. All right.
Jagger and Richards. But I'm gonna consider them like one songwriting entity.
You can make it as a unit.
That.
So.
Yep. So I'd love to write with them. I would love to jam with Derek Trucks.
Okay.
I really respect his guitar playing, and I could just sit and play rhythm guitar and chords under him, and just let him and I'll just let him play for hours. And I would love to go have drinks and shoot the shit with John Mayer. I feel like he'd just be a really fun guy.
Yeah.
And just kind of just hanging out with a beer and just discussing what he's doing with Dead and Company and how the Dead have inspired him.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. This drinks one's really tripping me up. And it's weird because like I go through these phases where like I really don't listen to a lot of music. And that's been recently. So like, past couple days, getting more into the Dead is been like the first like real music that I've like sat down and listened to in a long time.
Do you think I could probably guess who you would have drinks with?
Yeah, take a guess.
Roger Waters.
He's a bit of a dick.
Or David Gilmour. I think any of the surviving members of Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I think David Gilmour would be a lot cooler. Roger's a little too political and dickish for me.
You'll ask him a question and then he'd just be like, "Why would you want to know that?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're on a need to know basis, and you don't need to know.
Actually, who I would want to? I'm gonna take. Unfortunately, I'm gonna take Clapton off the books for jam.
Okay.
I'd like to jam with Syd Barrett.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be...
Have you ever listened to the double album that he came out with, the Madcap Laughs and Barrett?
Of course.
Dude. An effervescent elephant.
I got heavy into like early Floyd and Syd Barrett back in like high school and stuff. So I think that
Emily play.
To jam with him would be awesome.
That would be wicked cool. And fuck the Nostalgia Critic.
What is that in reference to?
I don't know if you know the Nostalgia Critic.
I know the name.
He tried doing a parody of The Wall.
Oh, I heard about that.
It's one of the worst things ever on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Not my thing. I'm not gonna give that an ounce of my time.
Fuck him. I'll say it. Fuck him.
Fuck him. No free clout.
No free clout. Fuck you. No free clout. Just like you start just like hearing the podcast tomorrow, and then just you'll hear like fuck name redacted.
Yeah.
No free clout.
No free clout. I should start doing that. Real quick before we wrap up. So today is currently, as of recording this is Monday the 6th.
Yep.
Easter is in 6 days. I believe I will be in Connecticut for definitely Easter weekend, and I don't know when I'm coming back. It might be Monday, might be Tuesday. I might be going there on Friday, I might be going there on Thursday. So in my absence of being in Massachusetts, I think we should go on a little tea break on the show, mainly just because I don't want to record this at home with my parents, because they're my parents. So so we could take a little, take a break for Jesus. How about that?
Take a break from Jesus.
Is that what we're doing? Is that what Easter is? Is it Jesus? What is it? What is Easter about?
Easter is celebrates the resurrection of Jesus.
Yeah, so we're gonna go down to the pub with Jesus and get drinks. So
I found this on the web for.
My Siri went off because I said Easter, and it's going off again.
That's weird. So yeah, we're gonna be taking a short little break, just and then we'll come back with so many other cool things. And
real quick, hey Siri, Siri. Now you don't want to work.
Oh, say Easter.
Hey Siri. Oh, or if it's on. Hey Siri, tell me a joke.
Kid joke alert. Why did the clock get kicked out of the library?
Why?
It talked too much.
It talked too much.
What did they say? The clap?
Why did the clock get kicked out of the library? Because it talked too much.
I thought it said the clap, and I was like, wow, that's great, because we have to release this clap compilation.
Yeah. All right.
So
yeah, I think it's a good place to call it.
Yeah, on that note, this was a little Monday quickie.
Yeah. Is this a good time to put the pillow over your dying wife's face?
I mean, yeah, it's time to close up the box, you know? And then
what movie is that?
What?
There's like a French movie, and like the climax is like an old guy, and he kills his wife.
I'm not familiar with French cinema that much.
Amélie, iguana. Amélie? Is it Amélie?
On that note, thank you. I got nothing. On that note, thank you everyone for listening. This was a short little beginning of the week check-in, and we're going to bring you some cool stuff for the rest of the week before we take our little tea break, and then we will be back better than ever. Well, maybe not better than ever. Who knows? We're freestyling this motherfucker. So thanks again, everyone, for listening. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay cool. Enjoy the outside if you get the chance to. And while you're doing that, stay socially distant.